For the invocation in Toastmasters Promise, let us call Toastmaster Lit Mabayan.
Good evening, everyone. Shall we all come to the Lord in prayer? Hallelujah. Father God, we bless you, we honor you, we worship you this evening. Thank you so much, Lord, for the gift of Toastmastering. Thank you, Lord, for making us all part of this team. Cleanse our hearts right now, and we ask for your Holy Spirit to guide us and bless us. Thank you, Lord, because you are with us. And because of that, we know we're going to learn so much this evening. And whatever we would receive from you, we pray and believe that we could pass on to our community, to our nation, to the world we're living in. Thank you, Lord, that you will bless us this evening and you would cause our lives to be a blessing to other people. This is our prayer in Jesus Christ's name. Amen and amen.
Amen.
Shall we all recite our Toastmasters Promise? May I invite everyone to please raise your right hand and recite this promise with me. A Toastmasters Promise. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my speech and leadership projects to the best of my ability, basing them on Toastmasters educational program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition programs, to act within Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lit. Good evening once again, fellow Toastmasters and friends. And I hope we are all safe despite the floods that came. And we are honored to have some fellow Toastmasters from other clubs, from Davao Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Elisa Tai, and from Alab Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster J. Ornales. Good evening to our guests, and I hope you enjoy our tonight's meeting. Our tonight's meeting is something that I am excited because that will make me aware of what is happening in the world. And I believe this Toastmaster has the capacity to be the messenger of what is what sustainable development means. Fellow Toastmasters and friends, let us welcome our Toastmaster who is also an advocate of sustainable development. Our Area G3 Director, Toastmaster Rose Pagia.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Toastmasters City President-elect Toastmasters City. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests, friends.
Good
One of the
evening.
best, yes, hi. One of the best things that you can do in Toastmasters for me is, apart from talking, I know we all love to talk here, that's why we're in Toastmasters, is to voice your advocacies, right? For our President-elect Toastmaster Sedi, I think that is for mental health. For Toastmaster Mar and GB, that is for farmer rights and land use, proper land use, right? For me, I consider myself an environmentalist since I was in high school. I remember, I think I was in third year high school. A couple of us classmates, we went to the French embassy and rallied against the French atomic nuclear testing in the Pacific. So that's when it all started for me. Finally, when I was working, I was introduced to the Sustainable Development Goals, and it all made sense. Sustainable Development Goals is simply what the world wants. They apply to all nations and men, and quite simply, it is to ensure that no one is left behind. And how do we achieve this? Okay, let me just get out of the camera for a while. There. With these 17 Sustainable Development Goals, could I ask someone to read the Sustainable Development Goals? Could I ask Toastmaster? Is Toastmaster Mar there? Oops. Toastmaster Mar, you are on mute. Kindly unmute yourself. And
Okay.
if you can read to us the 17 Sustainable Goals.
Yeah, this one is
Can you see?
no, it's too small, so we have
Too
to.
small. Okay, let's see. Let's have it. Toastmaster Jamie, are you there? Someone with better eyesight.
Better eyesight.
Meron ba?
It's also small. I'm using my phone.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll read it. Okay. So
No poverty.
number 1 is no poverty. Number 2 is zero hunger. Number 3 is good health and well-being. Number 4 is quality education. Number 5 is gender equality. 6 is clean water and sanitation. Number 7 is affordable and clean energy. Number 8 is decent work and economic growth. Number 9 is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Number 10 is reduced inequalities. Number 11 is sustainable cities and communities. Number 12 is responsible consumption and production. Number 13 is climate action. 14 is life below water. 15 is life on land. Number 16 is peace, justice, and strong institutions. Number 17 is partnerships for the goals. Finally, so those are the 17 sustainable goals. And yes, welcome to the last regular meeting of Meycauayan Toastmasters Club for year 2020. Woo! Goodbye 2020. And let me first give a brief history of Toastmasters Club, what we're all about. So, we all know this, I hope. Toastmasters International is a nonprofit educational organization that teaches public speakings and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. It started almost 96 years ago in about a month when Ralph C. Smedley started speaking clubs in YMCA. And from there, Toastmasters International found its way to the Philippines through Toastmaster attorney Teodoro Cala, who held the first Toastmasters meeting in Manila way back in 1952. Among the notable Toastmasters members are former President Marcos, Justado Macapagal, and former Senator Raul Roco, to name a few. So get your names up there. From there, Toastmasters, oh, you can see the whole screen now, but this is good. The next slide. From there, Toastmasters, some people remember this, came to Meycauayan, and it started about 28 years ago when Toastmaster Mike, who was a member of Maharlika, and Toastmaster Dan formed Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. And so here we are with all the past presidents. This was taken on our 25th anniversary. Congratulations, Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. Let me put myself back on screen. There you go. Okay, the Toastmasters meeting composed of 3 parts. We have the light moments. the speeches, and the evaluation. For our light moments, we will start with the word of the night. Hang on, let me share the word of the night. Oh, I will introduce first our grammarian of the night. Toastmaster Tess, if you're ready,
Yes.
please introduce to us the word of the night.
Wait for a moment.
Are you going to share your screen? I already
Yes.
have it on, but I'm not sure if
Can you
everyone
share
can
your
see.
screen? I will just explain it.
Can everyone see? Or is
Yes.
it too small?
Yes. Okay.
I'm already sharing the word of the night.
Yes. I
Can
will
everyone
explain the
read?
word of the
Is it
night.
okay? Yes, please. Toastmaster Tess, take it away.
Yes. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. The word of the night is paradigm shift. It is a noun meaning an important change that happens when the usual way of thinking about or doing something is replaced by a new and different way. For example, the use of social media of environmentalists is the paradigm shift towards climate change awareness. So I hope everyone will use the word of the night, paradigm shift. Good evening. Back to you, Toastmaster of the night, Miss
Thank
Ambrose.
you. Thank you, Toastmaster Tess, for introducing the word of the night. So I encourage everyone to use it tonight. Okay, so the next portion is our education session. There you go. So we will now have our education session, and it will be led by the CEO and co-owner of Karmasha Suihu. She is a member of Davao Pag-asa Toastmasters Club and a past international director. One of the Holy Trinity, the second one being Toastmaster Dote, and the third one being our very own Toastmaster Christine. Please welcome she who never stops learning, distinguished Toastmaster Elisa Day. Take it away.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I used to hate evaluation. When I was a new member of the club, I used to hate it because I thought that evaluation was just pointing out errors, pointing out mistakes, criticizing speakers. So I avoided it until one day, my mentor told me that evaluations are a key or a tool to help speakers. So just like our word of the evening, paradigm shift, I started to have a different viewpoint of what evaluation is. And I started viewing it as a gift to the speaker. So according to Rachel Seeger, on evaluating a speech, think of our recommendations as gifts for the speakers. These are essential to help the speaker move forward. So when we do evaluations, it's a way of helping the speaker. So that should be the basis of all our evaluation. The need and the desire to help somebody become better. So when that happens, we don't look anymore for errors. What we look for are areas wherein they can improve on. So there is a shift in how we view evaluation. I'd like to share with you a short story about two insurance agents, both of them my friends. The first one would pray every day, Lord, please help me find somebody that will buy a plan, an insurance plan, so that they can help me because I need it. The second insurance agent has the same, very similar prayer, but his prayer was like this: Lord, help me find somebody that I could help today. Both had the same prayer, both had the same wants to find somebody that will buy insurance, but both of them approach it in different manners. So when we look at evaluation, whether it is language, whether it is table topics, or whether it's the individual speaker evaluation, let us view it as our way of helping the speakers. Let us give them our gifts. Now, I would run through this. So let us draw attention. Why do we do evaluations? Aside from looking at it as gifts for the speaker, we draw attention to unnoticed habits. We build the confidence and self-esteem of the speakers. We help them to learn to accept feedback and act on it. We do motivate speakers, we reinforce speaking styles, and we challenge speakers to try new techniques. So everything that we do in Toastmasters is a learning process. It's like for me, I'm very comfortable using my virtual background as my way of showing the information that I need. Just like when we used to do PowerPoint presentations, I use the virtual background. But recently, I've shifted to screen sharing, because I found out I needed to learn something also different. So now, this would be the second session that I'm using screen sharing for an educational input instead of using my virtual background. Okay? So learning. Now, for those who have not started evaluating, why should you start evaluating? Because there are benefits also for the evaluators. If you're the evaluator, you develop analytical and problem-solving skills. You learn to give positive feedbacks. This is one important skill that I learned, especially when I was teaching. Because according to the students, they didn't feel my evaluation or the kick, especially when it came from me, because I have learned the skills in Toastmasters of kiss, kick, and kiss. And I was able to motivate them to do things that other teachers could not ask them to do. So it's a skill that you learn, something that you could apply outside. You develop listening and observational skills. You improve speaking skills. If you ask world champions, they will tell you, learn how to evaluate effectively. Because the better evaluator you become, the better as a speaker you are. Because you will know where your weakness is. You will know how to improve on them. So learn your evaluation skills. Prioritize which one is more important, which shortcoming should you highlight, which good points should you highlight. Then you reflect. Why do we reflect? Why do we learn the skills of reflecting? Because we have to know how we can say it in a manner that will not offend the speakers. So these are some skills that we gain when we become evaluators. Now, when we look at evaluation, there are 4 questions that you'd like to answer. These are 4 short questions: what, where, why, and how. What went wrong? So if you lack gestures. So you don't just stop there. You have to find out what is the answer for the next question, where. So where did that occur? In what part of the speech did they lack gestures? And then the next question is why. Why do you think gestures would be important at that particular point? And then how can they improve on that? So when you evaluate, whether it's individual speakers, whether it's table topics, you try to answer these questions: what, where, why, and how. Oftentimes as a grammarian, we might just limit it to what went wrong and how we can improve on it. Because it will take really too much time already if we have where and why. But these are the questions that we try to follow. What, where, why, how. This is something that I learned from Division Director Jan Todorovich. He has this simple pattern that he uses, globe. So you look at gestures, language, organization, voice, and enthusiasm. And then if you'd like, you can just put 2 columns, plus and minus. I usually put a check mark if I find that the gestures are sufficient enough, they're great, so I put a check mark. And then if it's a negative aspect of the speech, like organization, then I start writing down what were the minus factor, what areas would need improvement, how can the speaker improve on it. So then it becomes easier. So when you have to sit down and write down your evaluation speech, you have this information on hand. Now, I cannot do an entire evaluation thing for the individual speakers. It would take some time. So I would rather go through the general gist of this and then go through some of the parts for evaluation in meetings. So like, for example, evaluating table topics. So what is table topics? Based on Toastmasters International, it is a long-standing Toastmasters tradition intended to help members develop their ability to organize their thoughts quickly and respond to an impromptu question or topic. So if we look at this, intended to help members to develop their ability to organize their thoughts. So when we evaluate table topics, we try to check on this. Are they able to organize their thoughts? So we look for introduction, body, and conclusion, because our reactions are still mini speeches. We don't try to expound so much on other things because we have very, very minimal time when we're doing table topics evaluation. Okay, now 2 approaches to evaluating table topics. 3 actually. I wrote down 2 and then I added a 3rd one, forgetting to edit the title, okay? So, okay, evaluate the speakers together. Let's say the table topics master will ask the reactors, I would like you to react to the table topics session tonight using stories. There are times the table topics master might ask them to follow something, or I would like you to use the pattern prep. So you can evaluate everybody based on that, based on the format that was requested by the table topics master. So if he says, I want you to use stories, evaluate the reactors based on that, how they made use of stories in the reaction. Second, you can evaluate them individually. If you have 5 speakers, evaluate each of them, each of the 5 reactors. The third one is a combination of both. Sometimes I use this, or most often I use this. I do a general evaluation of everybody, especially if all of them were able to hit the point, or whether all of them had great introductions. And then I move on to the individual reactors for the points that will need improvement. So maybe I could start with, all of you had great introductions. You were able to give us a hook. You were able to draw our attention. And then you move on to the individual speakers. So speaker number 1, Christine, I felt you made use of stories, and if you could just add one more example. So you now go to the individual reactors and highlighting or sharing something that you could recommend for them to improve on. So that would make it more specific. So you could do a general evaluation, a group evaluation. You could do it individually, or you could do a combination of both for table topic session. So what do you observe when evaluating table topics? Presence, check for confidence. Delivery, body language, vocal variety. Organization, which is the gist, which is the most important part. Opening, body, and conclusion. Then, content. Did they use quotations? Did they use stories? If it was speech to inform, did they use data? Did they use infographics, opinions? Time management. Did the speaker make full use of the time? Maybe they just use 1 minute. You can comment on that and tell them if you have just added one more point to your reaction, that would have created a greater impact because you still had time. So you can also look out for that. Sometimes what I do is I check for presence, vocal variety, and use that as my plus factor. And then focus on evaluating the organization of the speech. And then you conclude your evaluation with a strong point commending them on a positive factor in their reaction. So these are some of the things that you check out for. You don't have to check everything because remember, we have limited time. Other items to look out for when you're evaluating the table topics. Time management. If we look at the Toastmasters International speech manual, Toastmasters manuals, there is no hard and fast rule as to how long we do evaluation for table topic session. Because in a lot of districts in North America, they don't evaluate topics. They don't evaluate table topics because for them, table topics is for those who do not have a part in their meeting and they are given a chance to speak. So they don't have evaluation for that. For us, we do evaluation. So we allocate 45 seconds to a minute for each reactor. So if you have 5 reactors, maybe total of 5 minutes for evaluation. Go straight to the point. Don't dilly-dally. Remember, you have minimal time to do your evaluation. Self-discipline. When I talk about self-discipline, avoid repeating the lines that were shared. Avoid reacting to the quotation yourself if you are the evaluator. Avoid saying you agree, disagree, or you challenge the reaction of the evaluator. You don't have to tell them that speaker number 1, you follow the SNG pattern. Speaker number 2, I think he is prep. So you don't have to mention that anymore. Don't highlight that. Because those are tips that they use. Those are patterns that they use for reacting. You don't have to mention that anymore in your evaluation. Now, if you are evaluating the table topics master, you have an option. It's either the table topics evaluator could do the evaluation of the table topics master, or the GE could do it. So as general evaluator, make sure that you are also listening because there are some table topics evaluator who will not evaluate the table topics master. So check on this. Was there a proper introduction to the session? How organized or prepared was the table topics master? Who did the table topics master call? Usually we try to call those who do not have speaking parts. If everybody has a speaking part, then the one with the least role, let's say one who did maybe the one who did the invocation and did not have any other role in the meeting, the one who is doing the accounting. So before you progress to the other members, because this gives everybody a chance to react. You can call a guest who is a non-Toastmaster, but make sure they are willing and you don't shame them into responding. How efficiently were the reactors called? I do not know how you do it in Meycauayan. Is it by volunteering or do you point out a particular reactor?
Equal.
You call. Okay. So there are some clubs who will wait for volunteers and wait and wait and wait. So you're wasting time. So how efficiently were the reactors called? So if you're calling them directly, then that's not a problem because you can really shorten the time. Were the topics interesting? Were it challenging enough? How many speakers were called within the allotted time? We take note of this last one because you might give 15 minutes or 20 minutes for table topic session. But your table topics master might be so verbose, so reactive also to his own reaction, to his own quotations, that he might not be able to call so many. He might only call 3 people. So you have to take note of that also as the evaluator or the table topics master, because the table topics master was not maximizing the use of the time. I think we have gone through those types of table topics master wherein they give a long story before they give the quotation. And then after reactor number 1, they will also react and give their personal viewpoints before they move on to the second topic. So instead of calling maybe 5 or 6 reactors, they will only have time for 3. So as a table topics evaluator or general evaluator, you call their attention also for this. Evaluating language. If you're a grammarian, something that I hate also to do as a grammarian, because oftentimes I feel that something is wrong, but I have a hard time giving a specific recommendation. So if I have a hard time doing that, I try to focus on it. So if you have the same feeling as what I have, then volunteer for language evaluation, volunteer and be a grammarian, because then we will be trained. So some tips for the language evaluator or the grammarian. If you are a speaker evaluator, leave the language evaluation to the grammarian. Sometimes a speaker will have so many grammatical errors. It's better to leave it to the language evaluator rather than commenting it as a speaker evaluator. But you can write it down in his written evaluation, or you could mention this when you have a talk with the speaker after the meeting. Maybe a discussion. Maybe you could give a suggestion. You know, there were a lot of grammatical lapses in your speech. If maybe the next time you could have somebody check on your speech to check the grammar, ask your mentor to go over it. Have somebody look at your speech and check on the grammar. So this could be given out as a personal face-to-face or one-on-one evaluation. Note quotable words. Share with them, share it with the club. Listen for the power of threes. Research and listen to figures of speech like alliteration, metaphor, simile. So then you can point it out during the meetings. So we don't point out only the lapses, but we also highlight those words, phrases, and sentences that were memorable, which we call the gems. So this is the role of the language evaluator. Now, being general evaluator, the general evaluation takes the general evaluator evaluates everything that takes place throughout the meeting. Everything. We had a general evaluator once in our club. So that's why in our club in Pag-asa, we often invite outside general evaluators from outside our club, because they point out things that we often take for granted already. Like we had one general evaluator, our area director from General Santos. He pointed out to us in our meeting, you know, I have been trained that when the president bangs the gavel, the meeting starts. So by that point, in their club, they start speaking English. Nobody speaks anymore the dialect or Tagalog or any other thing except English. And we were, for a moment, we were stunned and said, oh nga. So it was brought out, it was highlighted because we had somebody from outside coming in and pointing it to us. Because oftentimes we get already too comfortable with each other that we forget the lapses and we say, it's just a minor thing. But if we have outside evaluators, general evaluators, then these things are pointed out. A second general evaluator we had the other week came in early, maybe around 15 minutes before the meeting, and he was pleasantly surprised, and he shared this with the club. I was surprised because when I came in 6:45, you were already in the room, and it was like a fellowship before the meeting. He was pointing this out to us. And he got so engrossed with the conversations taking place about the liquor ban here in Davao, and then how we were panicking and we were trying to share with each other how many bottles of wine and how many cases of beer we had stored before the lockdown happened. So he said he was having fun with all those exchanges because it showed that the club had a relationship outside of just 7 to 9 or 7 to 8:30 meeting, which created a stronger bond. So again, this was pointed to us by somebody from outside of the club, that this was one of the strengths of the club. So the general evaluator takes notes of everything. Before, during, he cannot take note of something that happens after because his role has already been concluded. So before and during. So during this time of virtual meetings, you cover also evaluation for how people look on screen, whether the lighting is sufficient, whether the text is big enough, whether you are able to prepare slides, and how effectively you made use of the slides. And everything that happens during the evaluation portion is under the control of the general evaluator. So you have the tag team, the timer, the accountant, the grammarian, the speech evaluators. So all these are under the general evaluator. And you don't just act as MC. You also give suggestions and recommendations for the individual evaluators. So after the evaluator for the formal speaker has delivered his evaluation, give suggestions to the evaluator on how they can improve the evaluation. What is their take home for that process? Give a suggestion to the table topics master and to the table topics evaluator. Maybe agree with the grammarian, commend the grammarian. So give suggestions also. It's not just ushering in the different parts of the evaluation portion. So this is evaluation in a gist. We we had an evaluation session recently done by past district governor Gina, and it took us 3 Saturdays with 2 weeks in between. So the process she shared with us was we had first time evaluators, and she recommended having available mentors, not on a one-on-one basis, but evaluators, mentors that could go with evaluators when they do evaluation, maybe outside of the club. So she got the members so enthusiastic about it. They were asking the different clubs. They were the ones going to the different clubs asking, do you have speakers? Can we be evaluators? And then they invite their mentors to go along with them. So after they evaluate the speakers, after the general evaluator of the meeting gives their feedback, we have private sessions after to reinforce their skills in evaluation, whether they are evaluators for speakers, whether they are table topics evaluators, whether they are general evaluators. In this way, we can improve and expand the pool of evaluators that we have in each club, and not just rely on a few Toastmasters that will do the evaluation. So let us try to introduce our members to evaluation as early as possible and provide guidance. Because once they get excited about the idea of helping speakers, they now become avid supporters of evaluation and them becoming evaluators. Okay, so this is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. Volunteer. Volunteer to be evaluators. Ask somebody from the club to comment. The other week, or 2 weeks ago, we had the president of the Sulu Toastmasters Club, the newest club in the district, become our general evaluator in the club. The moment the meeting ended, he was texting already 2 or 3 people in our club to give him an evaluation or a feedback on his performance as general evaluator. So as members, we should also welcome the ability to, we should also welcome evaluation. So I would like to share this last screen. Evaluation is only effective if we are able to apply it, not just in the club, but also outside. So when you're teaching, when you're helping somebody, maybe when you're guiding kids, evaluation becomes a very important tool. So we can, what we learn in Toastmasters Club, we can bring outside. Let us not keep it within the 4 walls of the meeting of Toastmasters. There's one picture here. It's a group of Toastmasters holding up their paintings. That's us. There's a lady here, lady in black. She's our teacher. When we first started with her, we were all clamoring for evaluation for our paintings. And she was shocked because she said artists do not comment on other artists' work. And we told her, we are not asking for comments, we are asking for evaluation. Help us improve. So we carried that evaluation thing, that need for evaluation outside of a Toastmaster setting, and it became part of our life. One plus factor, our teacher in painting became so curious about evaluation, she eventually joined us in Toastmasters. Okay, so that is what I have to share about evaluation. I hope you are able to carry on with it, keep on practicing, have a pool of mentors within the club that would go out with these members, with the members when they do evaluation outside, because the more evaluators we have in the club, the stronger is our foundation as a club. no? Because we are able to help each other. Have a pool of Toastmasters that are willing, ready, and able to help each other. So thank you for the opportunity, and back to our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Rose.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your time. Distinguished Toastmaster Lisa, you covered a lot of points. It's now a line. Moving on to our second part of the meeting, which is the speeches. And the first one is the most exciting, adrenaline inducing table topics. Let's share our ideas for a better future through impromptu speaking. It will be led by our most promising, diligent, and recent scholar, President-elect Toastmaster Seti. Take it away.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rose. Good evening once again, fellow Toastmasters and friends. They say that be a voice, not an echo. And as Toastmasters, we should amplify those voice and let that be heard. In table topics, you will think on your feet and send your inspiring message across the audience. You will be given a 1 to 2 minute speaking opportunity with the help of our timer, Toastmaster Remy. When the green, when the light turns green, you spoke by 1 minute. When the yellow light turned, you spoke by 1 minute and 30 seconds. And when the red light turned, that is the time that you have to wrap up everything about your table topic speech to avoid overtime. As for our topic, which is sustainable development, Toastmaster Rose mentioned the 16 the 16 sustainable development goals, and have I picked 4 of them. So let's start. I would like to call Toastmaster Lit Mabayad to select a category. Toastmaster Lit, please select a category.
I would like to choose good health and well-being.
Thank you. So for good health and well-being, this is your quote. Health is not valued till sickness. Health is not valued till sickness comes. Again, health is not valued till sickness comes by Thomas Fuller. Fellow Toastmasters and friends, our table topic speaker number 1, Toastmaster Lit.
How many times do we have to take for granted our health? You know, it is true that we only consider our health when sickness is around. So I think that must change now. Remember the quotation, a pound of is better than a pound of cure. I'm thinking of that. It has something to do with being really ready before it comes. Like when we take good care of our health, I don't think that we will be sickly at all. So we really should focus on what we eat and what we drink, making sure that we will stay healthy daily. Because if we do not really consider whatever we put inside our bodies, then we will just be surprised that one day we're sick. And then we will look back and say, oh, because I ate too much pork or I drank a lot of liquor and all that. So it's about time that we really consider our health, that we should be kind to ourselves and suffer the consequences is something that we can avoid if we would really have this paradigm shift of just really making sure that we are able to take good care of our health now, not in the future, not when we're already sick, but now. I just would like to really give an example. I have a friend of mine who would be eating a lot of chicken, although she knows it's bad for her. And she would say, anyway, I have medicine, I have loratadine, so I will eat. Anyway, I have medicine. I don't think that's a good gesture. That's a good thing. We have to avoid what is not good for us. And by doing so, we can avoid sickness. That is really something we have to think about. Table topics, Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lit, and I have to agree with you because as they say, you are what you eat, and as early as now, we should at least have self-control when it comes to eating, and of course, let us take good care of our health, especially now what we are experiencing. For our next table topic, next you may pick a category, Toastmaster, Toastmaster Christine.
Quality education.
Quality education. And here is your topic. For quality education, wait, okay. For quality education, the quote is ignorance is a bliss. Again, ignorance is a bliss. Toastmaster Christine.
Ignorance is a bliss. I could, I am confused whether I will agree or not, but sometimes I would say that ignorance is not really a bliss because I, for one, is a person who would like to stay on top of things. So I would like to know about everything, even if there are people who are in charge of projects. And as an example, maybe I have actually relinquished some of the works in our business to my two sons, but I make it a point to stay on top of everything. So I monitor everything, even though I know that my two sons are taking very well of the projects. And so I don't believe that ignorance is a bliss. When you don't know, when I don't know about something, then I am agitated. So I'm a person who would like to know about everything and stay on top of things. Maybe some people say that I'm a control freak, but nevertheless, I still want to make sure that everything goes well. And one way of making sure of that is to be able to know and monitor about things. So ignorance is actually not a bliss for me. Good evening.
Thank you so much, the distinguished Toastmaster Christine, for that insightful speech. And now for our third category, please speak Toastmaster Toastmaster Mar. Toastmaster Mar, you may select a category.
You're on mute, Toastmaster Mar.
Okay. Yes,
What?
clean water and sanitation.
Okay, clean water and sanitation. For clean water and sanitation, here is the topic. Muddy water, let stand becomes clear. Again, muddy water, let stand becomes clear by Lao Tzu.
Oh, muddy water stands clear. Well, everything can flow. It's natural course, except even if there are residues or whatever sediments are there. But it does not mean that when something is muddy, one should be contented or one should be comfortable because something muddy will reflect or may uncover something that has to be uh, attended to, something that has to be fixed. Some impurities may be there, and we may not know the extent of how these impurities will make things bad for us. Beware of these impurities because they are not really visibly seen readily. So let something is wrong when something is muddy.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mar. And for our final category, I would like to call Toastmaster GV. For our fourth category, which is zero hunger, this is your topic. Starve your ego, feed your soul. Again, starve your ego, feed your soul. Toastmaster GV.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I remember one time, that happened in my life. I was, I was in a, I was in a situation that I have a misunderstanding with my employee. I said, we have a discussion, a hard discussion regarding which is right, which is wrong. But to summarize it, I remember I was the one who was was not in the right position. That's why. But I make her life miserable by giving a memo, and I felt sorry after I realizing it that, oh my gosh, I was the one who made this one. Then the next day, I talked to her. Sorry, I talked to her. I realized I was the one at fault, and you are the one who are correct. If I will not eat my ego and let my pride overpower me, I think I lose a reliable a a gem in my company, and I think I will be an example of being ridiculous to everyone. That's why I always tell myself, always be humble every time, anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dewey. Well done. And fellow Toastmasters and friends, that concludes our table topic session for the day. And I learned to our four brave table topics speakers because when it comes to sustainable development, that should started within ourselves by number one, being not ignorant and become aware what is sustainable development is. And also, we must be humble to ask for other people of their needs so that we could get to know more about the problem. And then I learned from Toastmaster Lit that we have to, of course, take care of our health because it's very hard to give an awareness wherein we are not a role model ourselves. And thank you very much to our four brave table topic speakers. I now return the control to our Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Eddie, for leading the table topic speeches. We now move on to the prepared speeches. Quality education is one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, as mentioned earlier. And here in Toastmasters, we continue our education through pathways. We will see the application of what our members learned in their paths with their speeches. Our first speaker for tonight, who is taking up innovative planning, he will do level 2.1, connect with your audience. The speech objective is to practice the skills needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. He is given 5 to 7 minutes to deliver his speech, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Dan Napaninga. Let us all welcome our first speaker with voice over powers, Toastmaster Mar Libiran. The stage is yours. Sorry, you're still on mute, Toastmaster Mar.
My speech, Voice Over Powers Prologue. Fellow Toastmasters, was there a time in your life when you hear a certain call? That means you are called upon. Deep inside, you know that you can be an agent of change. Call it an act on my part to pick the less popular causes to espouse. And consider this, whenever there are topics or issues, old and contemporary, where one's opinion is needed, I always end up on the minority side. Meaning, it's like there are only 3 to 5 of us at the most in a 100 people. Second, as a result, I hardly find allies who would cast lots with me. If at best, the people I can ventilate my opinions are the passive sympathizers. Third, my struggles are not without its attendant problems and doses of frustrations. And fourth, people douse cold water on my enthusiasm. People will not go into deeper conversation with me. With all this experience, what do I think about? Does it mean I have to stop dreaming of having changes towards a better Philippines? I ask myself, what if I just join the majority, become indifferent like them, and make life easier for me? These reflections move me to come up with this piece entitled Voice Over Powers. Now, what is this voice over powers? First of all, what and who are the powers? The first type of powers are very obvious to us. They are people of wealth and people in positions. They can really wield power and influence and can even affect the marketplace. Their moves will certainly trigger some people to think, to act, and feel in a certain way. But there's one good thing. They do not directly transact with us. They do not associate with us. Much more, exchange ideas with us. So they are first type of power, the obvious powers. This brings us to the second type of power. That is the so-called the less obvious or the subtle powers. Who are they? They are the people who are in the minority, but they will power to us through the thoughts that they impart on us. Whether these thoughts are thoughts that will discourage us or inspire us. And who are those specifically? They are the people that we are compelled or people we could not help meeting, like our office mates, like our relatives, like those that are our detractors or buzzers or even backbiters. What do? Well, they have become many. In the first place, why have they become powers? Because of the very nature of interaction. Because there are many, they come to us in various forms, in various stages of our life. And of course, their discouraging words have impact because they are said in close range, candidly, and we listen to them. They are best illustrated by the stronger personalities and those with material things to boot. For people who admire them, their words have weight, and it becomes a matter of their word versus mine. So they're the ones, what do? They hastily say you cannot and should not be part of trying to discuss a certain issue, that you are not meant to be part of those wider intergenerational issues. Okay? And another is they can enumerate your flaws and your weaknesses as well as your ideas in a flash. What have these people done to me? These people have belittled my abilities or my involvement in certain issues. Okay, these people have also distracted me by trying to uh, trying to bring me to activities where I can get distracted and I can be busy with at the expense of the ideas that I'm espousing. And thirdly, these people cast doubt on my ability. Well, to be able to summarize them, they are the two types of power. The first one carves the destiny of nation, while the other one say words that will either inspire or discourage, promote individualism or invite contribution, or probably take your mind to the present only without regard for the future. So there are the two types of power. Now, what about the voice? At this particular stage, the voice are the interest that you have in desiring for a change. It is the observation that you have made, and the visions in your mind. It is the persistent pursuit of one's advocacy and the dogged determination to go on with it. Well, what are these advocacies, for instance? These advocacies are anything that will make us on our toes, because we cannot afford living this world without uh, doing something about them. For me, there are three particular advocacies or issues that I am most passionate about. These are, first, our overpopulation. Second, this is about character education for the youth, not only during elementary but even in their last year of college, so that they can have an exit interview or counter check on what they have become after all these years. And the third is the safeguarding and strengthening our culture. So what's so special about these advocacies? For me, these advocacies are really going into the root of the problem. What we are experiencing nowadays are the products of our wrong values, wrong doings, and wrong leaderships in the past. So, what can we do? They have been long entrenched in our system. For the other, and on the other side, these advocacies are meaningless and does not ring a bell or catch the fancy of most people. I would refer to people on both sides of the economic spectrum. First, on one hand, are the rich who would desire at all costs to protect their wealth and certainly will not care about what happens. And on the other hand, the poor ones who have no time to participate in this issue, since all their times are tied up in livelihood, just to get by day to day. So, what will it entail? These issues certainly, by and large, will be daunting and inevitable and insurmountable. Well, what do I mean? I mean that addressing these issues will take gargantuan efforts. So, what 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 should happen? First, there should be voices, voices that cares and speak up, voices that will make people aware of where they are heading. Third, voices that will refuse to allow the deterioration of the quality of life that we once had, the demise of our culture, and then the decadence of our character as a nation, and perhaps to some as individuals. But there must be something on the horizon. These are, as long as there are voices that will stand in the way of power, then there will be a struggle. And it will certainly be a struggle of voices of concern and vigilance versus powers of apathy and indifference. I can say that all we need is to break up the momentum. As long as we can slow down or stem the tide of events and development taking place in the country, which that time is our voice is heard. Just making a dent in itself is potentially a success. So that will be when it becomes voice over power. Then I would love to have this journey. Fellow Toastmasters, fellow dreamers, let us not give up the hope of a better Philippines. Let us remember there is always a chance, 1,000 chances to reboot in our dream for our better Philippines, as long as it will be voice over powers. Good evening to everyone.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mar, for that eloquent and thought-provoking speech. Toastmasters is a safe place, an excellent space for you to practice your advocacies. On to our next speaker for tonight. Our next speaker is taking up effective coaching. She will do level 3.2, deliver social speeches. Her objective is to practice delivering social speeches in front of club members. She is allotted 5 to 7 minutes, and she will be evaluated by Toastmaster GV David. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, let us welcome A Wedding Toast by Juliet Cabatingan.
It's just
Take it
3 to 4
away.
minutes.
Oh, is it? Sorry, it's just 3 to 4 minutes. Timer, please take note. On the third minute is green. 3 minutes, 30 seconds is yellow. And then on the fourth minute, that's red. Once again, A Wedding Toast, Toastmaster Juliet.
Good evening, friends. Today we are celebrating one of the most special day in the lives of this couple whom I truly love and adore. Venus and Raven, I witness how the two of you have gone through the many challenges of your inspiring journey from day one up to today. Too many obstacles and discouragements, yet you are not moved by these dejections. I truly admire the amazing ways you have dealt and fought these odds. You both shown what is the true meaning of a relationship from the point of view of younger generations. Thanks to both of you for letting me share this wonderful day. I would like to wish for your for the continued flourishing of your love for each other. As they say, till death do you part. And I believe that real love stories like yours would never have endings. First, put God in the center of your lives at all times. Ups and down, rain or shine, stormy or calm. Always communicate with each other. It is okay to have different views and opinions, but you need to talk it out at the end of the day and see to it. At the end of the day that your minds and wisdom meet. Forgive each other when there are shortcomings and don't let differences make holes or openings with your relationship, but instead think of them as bridges to better understand each other. Go raise children, a family that makes your existence worth and meaningful and would bring more joy than you could ever imagine. Finally, always find time for each other. No matter what, find time for each other. Most especially, sex. Sex is the stress reliever, what they called the state of mind stress. I don't want to stress it more, but I want to tell you this. Do it in the morning, do it in the evening, do it at lunch, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, everywhere. Wishing you a lifetime of love and happiness. Cheers. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Juliet, for your tip. All right, I think she is ready for her speech for a wedding she will attend. For future Ninang bookings, you can contact her in our group chat. All right, we have finished with our prepared speeches. We will move on to our general evaluation. But before that, we will have a break, sorry. We will have a 5-minute break. So, Toastmaster Remy, kindly time us for 5 minutes for a quick bio break or just stretch out, okay? I'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters. I'm back. How are you so far?
Okay
Yeah.
naman.
Okay naman. Hello, Tita Lit. Today is November 24 and tomorrow is November 25. So let's greet Toastmaster Mar a happy birthday. Here's your cake for you.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
Okay. Thank
Happy
you.
birthday, sir.
Happy birthday po.
Okay. Thank you.
Happy
What's your
birthday,
birthday
Ma.
wish, Toastmaster Mar?
Birthday po.
What's your birthday wish, Toastmaster Mar?
I have no wish for myself, but for me to have long life. That's what I can wish best. Just a long life so that I can fulfill some of my dreams, having the time to do that. And of course, physically, that I will be functional even up to the age of 80, so that because I still have many things to do.
Yeah. And because life is a never-ending cycle of learning, and then you, Toastmaster Mar, will learn a lot as time passes by.
Yes.
All right. And here's our general evaluator, our Director J. Hi, Toastmaster J. The
Hi,
Toastmaster
good evening. I'm home
is
finally. Half
yeah.
of the meeting I was on the road,
Oh,
but I'm glad to be here with you, and I'm glad to be home.
you will be the Toastmasters angel of Meycauayan Toastmasters Club.
You're all angels. Thank you for the invite, especially to President Sedi.
Well, and we have our guest, Toastmaster Jomar. Hi, Toastmaster Jomar.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Can you please introduce yourself to all of us?
Tarlac.
So, I'm from the Tarlac Toastmasters Club, but I am jumping from one club to another to learn some culture of the different Toastmasters Club. Actually, I think this is my second time to join the Meycauayan Toastmasters meeting.
All
So
right.
invited by Toastmaster Rose. Thank you very much for inviting me tonight. And I am glad to see everyone. Good evening.
Same here. We're glad to see you. You, Toastmaster Jomar, Toastmaster J, and of course, past International Director Elisa Tai. What since as you are waiting for the 5 minutes, so what's your highlight for today? Toastmaster Sedi, what's your highlight for the day? You're speechless.
What highlight?
Oh, highlights.
I was about to put highlight and joke. Ano, since this is my day rest day, I just used to sleep. as they say, sleep is the new luxury. So,
Is sleep part of the sustainable development?
Zero hunger. No, wala eh. Sorry, Mark.
Wala. How about Remy? What's your highlight for the day?
My highlight is to watch the my watch so that I can time everybody.
You watch your watch.
And also it's my first time to use a background in Zoom. So that's my new learning. So I figure it out. I watched the YouTube. So I have new learning for today. That is how to use the background color coding background.
Yeah. And probably next time we'll be learning a lot from Zoom, from Rose, about Zoom from Rose. Like the OBS. Are you using OBS?
Yes, I'm
For
using
the
OBS Studio. It's one of the apps that YouTubers use to film their videos. Broadcast for gamers to broadcast their games. Yes.
yeah. That's OBS. They're using OBS.
Yep,
Now I know.
some of them. I think we're done with
Okay,
5
it's about
minutes.
time.
Ay, ay, ay. Ako na pala susunod.
Yes, we're done.
Are we all here? Toastmaster Armel, Toastmaster Tess? Awesome. Just making sure. I don't want to call General Evaluator because you'll be part of the evaluation team. Great. And we are back for the next part of our meeting, the third part. This is the evaluation part. And this is the heart of every Toastmasters meeting because you can't experience this anywhere else. No other workshop or seminar does this in this way. And I mean friendly, positive, encouraging way. So just like in the Sustainable Development Goals, we are all here to help you achieve because the 17th goal is the partnerships for the goals. So just like that, we are all your partners in developing your Toastmasters goals, finishing your levels. Okay? So the evaluation is the way we do that. To lead our general evaluation is this person, this Toastmaster. I haven't really personally met her, but I applaud her for the work that she's done. I have joined, or she has joined a couple of our meetings, and I've joined a couple of her meetings, and she opens us up as warm and helpful. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome from Alab Toastmasters Club, Area Director Jay Hernandez. Take it away.
Thank you so much for our Toastmaster of the Day, Rose. Let's all give her a big round of applause. Magandang gabi, Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. It's an honor to be here in your club tonight. Maraming salamat po for the invite. And not only that, it is an honor for all of us to hear the educational portion done by DTM Eliza Tai. Or Eliza Tai, did I say that correctly? Everyone has been saying Tai, so please correct us once and for all.
Hi.
Tai.
In Singapore, it's Tay. In Malaysia, they call it say Tay. But in the Philippines, I've gotten used to Tay.
Ma'am Eliza Tai. So thank you so much for enlightening us with evaluation and how it really should be done. So this is a tall order for us because we are encouraged to do immediate application of all the lessons that we have learned earlier. I took down some notes while I was on the road, and I do hope that I also encourage our team tonight to apply these learnings. Are you ready, guys? Ready? Come on, give me a virtual thumbs up or an actual thumbs up. Make use of the icons that you have on your Zoom screen. I love the heart. Isn't it wonderful that they have the heart now and the party icon? So you can just say woohoo while your face is doing this. Nothing at all, but deep inside your, yeah. So tonight we are doing our evaluation portion. In other speaking engagements, people love to hear praises. Isn't that correct? Do you all agree? Ang galing mo, job well done, I loved your speech. But in Toastmasters, what we want to hear is the evaluation part. That's our secret kilig. Because when people tell us how we can improve, that's where we get our money's worth. I mean, that's the reason why we joined Toastmasters, right? Do you all agree? That was my main drive when I joined the Toastmasters meeting. When I joined back in 2016, because I would want to learn how to improve. Because if not, I would just read self-help books. Secret kilig. I agree. It shows when people evaluate me, then they give me on-point evaluation, even if it's the shoulder shrug that I've been trying to shake off for many years. I want to hear that. Tell me how I can improve so that the next time around, I will be a better person, a better speaker. Now, who wants to be a better speaker? Raise your hands, please. We all do. That's why we are here spending our it's Monday. What day is it today? Tuesday. Tuesday evening learning with all these people here in the room. So, did you know that the sustainability chart that was shown to us earlier, there's actually 18. Number 18 is helpful constructive evaluations to help sustain a Toastmasters meeting. Naka-secret lang yun, naka-hide lang yun. It's actually 18 and not 17. So congratulations to our table topics, to our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Rose, for sharing that with us tonight. So let's first proceed to the evaluation of our table topics for the evening, which was led by President Sedi. So I'm going to call Toastmaster Christine to share her insights as to how our 4 speakers fared for tonight. Over to you, Toastmaster Christine.
Master.
Sorry, Toastmaster J.
Yes.
Toastmaster Armel is our table topic.
Okay. Our favorite previous area director, Toastmaster Armel, and also the angel of Alab Toastmaster Club, like Toastmaster Mark. Over to you, Ma'am Armel.
Thank you so much, Area Director J. Good evening, once again, fellow Toastmasters Club. Congratulations to our 4 speakers, Toastmasters Lead, Christine, Mar, and GV. You survived the table topic session a while ago, and by doing so, you continuously train your mind to really think quickly and in impromptu. For Toastmaster Lead, you started your speech with a question, and that was so engaging. You sound so composed and poised because you are a seasoned Toastmasters. What I would like to hear from you is a clear ending so that your speech could really connect with your engaging questions at the beginning. For Toastmaster Christine, she got me when she countered the saying. And after that, she gave an example, her personal experience, and she ended it by saying that to stay on top of everything. Toastmaster Christine really gave us a very organized speech a while ago. She's so confident and poised as well. I would like her to improve on her being enthusiastic in her way of speaking so that it could be more alive to all of us. And for Toastmaster Mar, you've got a dual role for tonight, your speech delivery and your table topics. And congratulations, because you gave us a meaningful statement when you compare the muddy water to impurities. I know, Toastmaster Mar, that you've got lots of thoughts inside your head. That's why I would really like to remind you that table topic session is really a mini speech. You really have to have that good introduction to be followed by a body and a clear ending. You have that 6 seconds to really compose yourself and think of what you really would like to impart on your speech. But in all, Toastmaster Mar, you are a good influencer because I know you've got so much to give to all of us. And for GV, you keep on improving. Congratulations. You shared also your personal story and you realized your fault and gave us a clear ending to be humble. I would like you to improve on your gestures. Sometimes when we are at home, we forgot to, or we are so unaware of our gestures, like holding our face like that. But in all Toastmasters JV, congratulations, you gave us a wonderful rendition of your table topics delivery. And for Toastmasters SEDI, you also gave us an attention-getting introduction, and you explained to us what table topics is all about, and your theme is really connected with our, and your topic is really connected with our theme for tonight. And also, next, I would like to suggest next time to call on those Toastmasters that really doesn't have any role for tonight, so that it would be balanced so that the role for tonight is balanced. Sometimes we cannot avoid that whenever we unmute ourselves, the dogs keeps on barking like that. And that is forgivable, Toastmaster SEDI, because you are so confident in your manner of speaking and you keep on improving. Thank you so much for that. And now I would like to return the control to our General Evaluator, Area Director Jay.
Thank you so much, Past Area Director Armel. Let's all give her a big round of applause. Congratulations for intently listening to all our 4 speakers for this evening, even noticing the patterns that they use and that they included a personal story in their speeches. So I do concur, I do agree on the pointers given for tonight. How can I help you improve? Try to always use positive paraphrasing. I noticed that when you said you survived for tonight, if you have guests, they might think that table topics is a scary thing. Is it scary, fellow Toastmasters? No. We love table topics. In fact, we are excited. Sana matawag ako. That's what we are all hoping for. And as we sit and listen to our fellow Toastmasters, we are also answering in our heads, if that was me, I would have said this. Don't you all do that? We all secretly do, because we love table topics portion, because this helps us think fast and think quick. Because every single day, we are asked questions. Sir, grande, small, what do you want to eat? What will you wear? What's your opinion on this and that? Every single day, we are asked so many questions, and this helps us answer. Think fast, think quick. And the secret of being a Toastmaster are the patterns that we use. So go ahead in the chat box. Please refresh my memory and our friends here. What are the different table topics patterns that you know? So please type in the chat box. There's SMG, there's prep. So go ahead. I know marami ng bago ngayon. There are a lot of new acronyms or terms that we have. There's pros and cons. So go ahead, keep them coming, so that later on when they read back, their minds will be refreshed that there are so many topics for tonight. So back to Toastmaster Armel. How else do we help you improve? Positive paraphrasing in one, and second would be always remember the hows and whys. When you notice something that can still be improved in a certain Toastmaster or how it's done, tell them why it should be done. And not only that, show them how it's done. I loved when you showed us that the gestures, putting the hands on the face, you said doing this. So if someone is not listening, they will not know. So you might want to verbalize that as well. Put your hand on your face to signify that you are surprised or happy. Or in short, tell people, make us feel the emotion of what you are saying. Don't just tell it to us. It's as if we are immersed in the story. Take us with you as you relay your story to us. So show how it's done. For example, you're saying a line or two, Toastmaster Mar, it would have, I highly encourage you to use vocal variety. Tell us how, use a line or two from his speech as an excerpt. So those are my 2 recommendations for you, Toastmaster Armel. Other than that, congratulations for the on-point, smack-on evaluation for our 4 speakers for tonight. And for SEDI, not nitpicking on the barking, because that is now our new normal. There is taho, balot, or whatever it is, sirens passing. We have to accept that. I was on the car earlier and I was secretly hoping I hope it's not yet my turn because otherwise they will see me in a face mask in a dark place, in a dark car. So kudos to you, to everyone. And Toastmaster Sedi, how can we help you improve? I mentioned the hows and whys. Tell people why table topics is important. Encourage them to participate. Because in here, not only will you call those without roles for the evening, but also those who would want to practice. Because prepared speeches, we have to memorize. But table topics is a surprise. It's their chance to apply the learnings that they have in pathways, everything, putting it all together in just 2 minutes. And I do encourage you to touch on the different patterns as well, such as what I did earlier. You can make it interactive so that other people, if they're dozing off or feeling a bit hungry and distracted, they are still with you during your table topic stint. And I love that you were able to use the topic for this evening. My only take for you is to not only call on those who have no roles, but also encourage people to start with the letter V. Can you guess what I'm going to recommend, President Sedi? Volunteer. Ask people to volunteer so that they too can practice their confidence. And when they volunteer, they know themselves that I'm ready to take on this challenge. So we don't only practice leadership, public speaking, also confidence. And I do love the confidence that you showed to us tonight by delivering the on-point topics just like our theme. Let's all give Sedi and Armel a big round of applause. Congratulations to the both of you. So now we are heading to the evaluation of our prepared speeches. So we will help our 2 speakers grow as an individual for tonight. On to our first evaluator to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Mar. Let us call Toastmaster Dan. Toastmaster Dan Napalinga. Let's all give him a big round of applause.
Good evening to everyone. My family name is pronounced Salonga, Napalinga. So I think we should correct it so that we can pronounce it in a very nice, suave way. Let's give a congratulations to Mar. Mar, if you were a leader, a leftist leader, today I would have joined your group because I was an activist also before. Your speech is well organized and you followed the rule of 3. The voices, the 3 voices, the 3 groups of people who will implement your philosophy. Not only that, you have a very good bass. I think your voice is the one that will prod people to follow you. It is a vocal variety of push and a vocal variety of pull. When you raise your voice and when you have a high pitch and then complement it with a very nice bass voice, then you can move people. Be a leftist and be a very good advocate of nationalism. Not only that you have a very good voice, but you also had good gestures. Use your shoulder, use your head. Not only that, if I may suggest, you can also shout if you want. Laban! Your speech is a persuasive speech. And to persuade people, you have to show certain agility in voice, certain timbre in voice, and you should have a very good gesture with your hands, with your heads, and with your shoulder, raring to fight. I can see that you need refinements. You have a very good command of the English language. The terminologies that you have used are well placed. But I have some suggestions for you. One, you have to have a very good rate of speaking. Your pauses should be well placed so that you can emphasize the ideas, not only the ideas, but in harmony with your voice, you can emphasize the emotions that you would like to give to your audience. Since this is your first level 1 speech, I would encourage you to be ready for your second speech to convince all of us and to persuade us to be activists, not only in society, but also in our life. Thank you for inciting us tonight, and thank you for giving us a lesson of our life. Good evening.
Thank you very much to Toastmaster Danilo Napalinga. Tama po ba?
Thank you.
I get that right? I hope so. Thank you for your evaluation. I do agree on the points you've given to our speaker for tonight. Now, how do we help our evaluator improve for this evening? First, my suggestion would be to divide your evaluation into the things that you loved and the things that you would recommend. I noticed you were able to highlight the power of 3. So you may also apply that to your evaluation. 3 things that you loved and 2 to 3 things that you think that would need improvement. What I noticed as you were delivering the evaluation on point, you said, if I were to join, you would say yes to his crusade, to his cause, and that you loved his vocal variety. And then towards the end, I got a little bit confused because you said that when you mentioned he had good vocal variety, but you recommended vocal agility and improvement on the timbre. So if I were the speaker, I would be boggled a little bit and say, did he really like it or did he not? Just to make it clear to the person that you are evaluating, highlight on the points that you think would need improvement so that it doesn't seem that we are trying to sugarcoat or praise highly first and then take it back. And why do I say that? I heard a word that we normally avoid when we do our evaluations. It's a 3-letter word that starts with the letter B. But it's just like saying, Toastmaster Jomar, ang gwapo mo. Pero, when we hear that, we're like, huh? So Jomar would say, are you kidding me? So everything that you say prior to that, and then when you say that word pero or but, it immediately takes away everything. So my recommendation, Toastmaster Danilo, would be to use a different transition word such as, I would join your rally even more when these recommendations, and then you give your evaluations. Or you can just simply say, I challenge you to take on another cause. Here are my 2 recommendations for you. Number 1, because I do agree on the things that you noticed. I know that the speech can be even more powerful and persuasive when we use vocal variety, especially if this is a persuasive speech. Make us feel the emotion that you are trying to convey to us. If you want me to join your cause, tell me, why do I need to listen to you, Toastmaster Mar? Why do I need to join your cause? Why do I need to believe in you? Make me feel that it is worthwhile, that it is worth joining, it is worth fighting for. So that would be my recommendation to you, Toastmaster Mar. Just find a better transition term so that your recommendation points will be highlighted throughout the speech, because that is the important part of giving your evaluation. Because normally people would say, oh, I love your speech or the construction, etc. So notice, pay more time on your recommendations. Even if you are even if you are evaluating a DTM or someone who is a tenured Toastmaster, I encourage everyone, come on, do not be afraid. Fight for that cause because we know that this person would somehow need our help. And what we would recommend might change his life or her life for that matter. So, Toastmaster Danilo, would you like to join my cause? I hope so. So that would be, let us congratulate our prepared speech slot for this evening, Toastmaster Mar, and his evaluator, Toastmaster Danilo. Let's all give him a big round of applause. All right, great job to the both of you. We are now going to proceed and evaluate the second speaker for this evening, Toastmaster Juliet, for her toast for this evening. That is part of her social speech project, if I'm not mistaken. Let us all welcome to the virtual podium our evaluator, Toastmaster GP. Over to you.
Good evening, everyone. A while ago, Toastmaster Elisa Tai gave a fruitful seminar on how to evaluate effectively. Honestly speaking, I hate also to evaluate, but I was inspired by the words she gave by saying great speakers should be great evaluators first. And also, I always carry this quotation in my life. No excuses, only challenges. Now, Toastmaster Juliet, let's begin. Toastmaster Juliet, you've done so far from your day one of Toastmaster at Meycauayan Toastmasters until this time. Even though we are in Zoom meeting, you show a good gestures like doing a actual speech, doing a actual delivering speech. You have clear voices. It's loud and clear, so that everyone's heard you clearly. You delivered a inspirational story between Venus, and Raven. Yeah. Yeah, that's like Toastmaster Rose said, you're ready to become a speaker to the weddings, ready for to become a ninang. But I would like to suggest next time on your next speech that you end it more strong speech rather than giving the advice. So strong message rather than what's the catchy one, the SEX. What else you can give on this beside from SEX? And Toastmaster Juliet, I think it's a 3 to 4 minutes. I felt a bit short. I think I think it's a part of your speech project. I think I will not what do you call that? I will not comment on that one. But overall, Toastmaster Juliet, you did a great job. And as what do you call that one? As my batchmate, you've done so far. I'll keep pushing and good luck. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you so much for our evaluator, GV. Let's give him a big round of applause. I felt that Toastmaster GV gave us the kiss, kick, and kiss method. GV, how do you feel? Is this your first time to evaluate a speech or no?
It's second time.
Second time. And you know what? Don't worry, it gets better each time. Enjoy the moment, enjoy the process. And don't ever think, for all evaluators out there, that you are nitpicking. There is a fine line between nitpicking and doing an evaluation. You nitpick when you tell the person, I don't like your speech. Maybe it's better if you do it this way. I like it, but I felt, and then you don't give recommendations. When you evaluate, you give people things that you notice. You made me feel uncomfortable in the 3 letters when you gave us your speech, Toastmaster Juliet. I do recommend that you find another term for the word sex because you might have kids in your audience during the wedding. Compare that term. What if the Toastmaster or the evaluator will say, Toastmaster Juliet, I don't like that you use that word. It made me feel uncomfortable. Then ended there. How would the speaker and the audience feel? It will become a personal opinion already. But yes, evaluations are based on a personal opinion. We add the oomph when we tell people why and how it affects the speech. So that way, when you give your strong recommendation, tell them the importance of why they should explore more or try a different method perhaps the next time. Great job, GV, on evaluating and using the kiss, kick, and kiss method. You gave your recommendation in the middle, then towards the end, you wrapped it up again with the overall feeling. Now, how to help you improve further, GV? Yes, it's been a while since I heard a Toastmaster evaluate and say, I felt that. That's great. Because the speech should make you feel something. Did it make you feel excited to become a part of the audience in that wedding? Or did you want her to be your ninang and hear that speech to be given to you and the wife or the partner? How did it make you feel? And then the points that you noticed, you give it equal opportunities on how to level it up more. So GV, don't feel nervous. The next time around, when you know your patterns, such as what I gave earlier, divide it into two, the likes and the recommendations, or using that kiss, 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 kick, kiss method. So keep on trying and evaluating. I hope that you will feel better each time because each time you help someone, you're also helping yourself by doing critical thinking. And that is one criteria for the analysis part when you join evaluation contests. So congratulations to you and to our speaker, Juliet. Congratulations on your speech, and I do hope that you would take that as a challenge to expand your vocabulary and find a better term so that you will not turn heads or eyebrows when you deliver some topics that are maybe quite sensitive to others. You know, nowadays people hashtag it and tweet it that, ala, she used this and that. In this Insta world that we have right now, we don't want to be the trending topic of that, especially if it's towards the negative side. So what we would love to hear is, wow, imagine she talked about that word, but she did not even mention it at all. How creative can that speaker be? So congratulations, and I do hope that you keep on crafting those messages. I encourage you to memorize this as well. And if you would want to look on your notes, maybe place it near your gadget so that when you look, it doesn't have to be so much, your eyes is not angled really downward. Maybe put it to the side or near the camera. You know, nowadays we find ways to be creative, how to read and deliver our speeches that is not so obvious that we are actually reading it. I've hopped to many clubs and I've seen Toastmasters deliver their prepared speeches reading it. If you would remember, when we do this on physical meetings, our evaluator would instantly say, memorize your speech. That was the favorite line of my mentor, Jay. It's called prepared speech. That's why you should memorize it. And when you would look on your notes, sparingly, from paragraphs, graduate to that and use bullets. Then eventually know your speech by heart. So that is a big challenge to all our prepared speakers. To not be comfy too much in our homes and, rely on the notes that we have and, they would accept it that we are all looking down and reading our speech. I challenge you to level up and try this because when we go to the office and deliver our sales pitches and our reports, there would be times that we cannot use notes anymore. So that is one challenge for you. So there you have it for our evaluation portion of our table topics and prepared speeches. I encourage all speakers to make us feel the emotion. Take us with you on a roller coaster ride as you tell us our story. Make us feel that we are just in one place and that I am not alone in my room, sitting solo and listening and looking at the 4 people I see on my screen. Let's make this the new normal, that para lang tayo nagkakwentuhan in a physical meeting, sharing your stories to us. Congratulations to all the powerful speeches for tonight. And now we are moving on to the pillars of each meeting. I'm going to call our role takers, starting off with our timer to let us know how our speakers fared for this evening. So calling on to the virtual podium, Toastmaster Remy.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. This is my first time to be the timer. So, as the Bible says in Ecclesiastes 3:11, there is time for everything, a season for every activity under the heavens. So here's our timing. So for our table topic speaker, okay, the first participant at TM Lee Tabayad used 2 minutes and 35 seconds. And TM Christine Temblique used 1 minute and 40 seconds, while TM Marley Biran used 1 minute and 10 seconds, and TM GB used 2 minutes and 1 second. As you can see, most of our table topics participants use their time wisely, except from TM Lead Babayad, which has overtime just a few seconds only. Then for our prepared speeches, we have 2 prepared speakers for tonight. TM Marley Vidan used 13 minutes and 10 seconds. So he used overtime. So probably next time, maybe suggest that TM Marley Vidan would master his speech and also shorten his manuscript so it will fit in to the right time assigned to him. While TM Juliet used 3 minutes and 11 seconds, so she is on time according to the time allotted to him. For our evaluation, actually I didn't sum it all, but approximately, I will just give approximate minutes that we use. I think we use approximate 10 to 15 minutes. For our table topic evaluator, TM Armel used 3 minutes and 54 seconds. So she exceeded 54 seconds. While for TM Dan, who evaluated TM Juliet, he used 4 minutes and 9 seconds. He also exceeded for 1 minute. So while TMGB only used 2 minutes and 7 seconds. So overall, we did all our best to be on time except for TM Marley Biran. So there is a saying that not everything is meant to be, but everything is worth a try. So well tried, TM Marley Biran. Probably next time, try to be on time. That's all for now. Overall evaluation.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Remy. Are you really sure that this is your first time to be a timer?
Yes, it is, and I'm so nervous using a lot of skills, even the use of electronics for timing and using the multitasking is so stressful.
Congratulations on your stint, and it really doesn't show that it's your first time and we don't even know that you are nervous. Let's all give her a big round of applause. Pusuan naman natin yon because it's her first time. All right, congratulations. And you know what I loved about that is you were very encouraging as you were giving your timers report. It's also like a mini speech. In other clubs that I've been, they don't really pay much attention to a timer. It's just like, it's just statistics, just the numbers. Now, how do I help you improve when you take on this role next time? What you can do for each segment, you can type in the chat box the time given already. For example, table topics, the names, and the time, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, so on and so forth. And then for the prepared speeches, so that when you do your speech, you have more time for recommendations as well. Because it's also like an evaluation. Toastmaster Mar, for example, I noticed that you have gone over time. How do I help you? Try to practice your speech first. And if you go on your own pace at 7 minutes, it means when you deliver it, it will be overtime. Why? Because there is that factor called nervios, uncomfortability, because you're facing other people already, or there might be glitches. So if you're just on time by yourself, there's a big chance it'll go overtime. And the importance of this is, did you know that during the World Public Speaking Contest, there was one Toastmaster who got disqualified? Do you know that? Not so much? He went overtime. And can you guess how many seconds overtime? 1 second, my friends. And this may have cost him his title. Who would know that it might not be my car sitting on the throne? It might be someone else. Who would have known? But we will not know that because he was overtime for just 1 second. So when we do our timing, it's really important. And it's the timer's role to tell us, hey, 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 you gotta try and do better the next time. That's her way of helping us out. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Remy. In other clubs, they do an immediate PowerPoint presentation with their graph and all. It's mind-blowing, and I cannot do that. I'm even having a hard time doing slide share or screen share or the split screen that our Toastmaster of the evening did. So what more for other things? But if you can try that, the techie ones over here, our dear millennials, you might want to explore that the next time around. So congratulations on our timers report. Moving on to our counter, Toastmaster Jamie. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, Toastmaster J. Hi, good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'm your counter for tonight, and I'm here to count the ums, the fillers, and the long pauses. So for tonight, we have 5 runner-ups for the count. So first is Toastmaster Sedi, 1 Toastmaster GB, 1 2 repetitive word, and Toastmaster Rose, 2 1 so. Toastmaster Mar, 1 1 repetitive word, and Toastmaster Remy, she uttered 27 and 2 so. It's her first time, so I think it's normal that she uttered a lot of as this is her first time being given a role as a timer. So by next time, maybe there will be some improvement, maybe a lesser like maybe 10 For just a tip, instead of opening your mouth, I usually give this tip whenever I'm the counter. Instead of opening your mouth before saying a word, I suggest that you close your mouth before when you're thinking of something, like when instead of like I'm thinking about something, but instead of opening my mouth because it will it will it will like automatically let out a sound, right? So instead of opening it, just close it. Then if you're ready to speak or give your thought, then that's the time you can open your mouth and say what you want to say. now I return the control to our general evaluator, Toastmaster J.
All right, great job, Toastmaster Jamie. Now that's what I'm talking about. Giving us a tip and showing us how it's done. We're only missing you, I presume, due to connection problems. That's why we're not seeing you on cam, right?
No, because I'm already in my pajamas and
Oh,
I
okay,
I
okay.
look I look really haggard because I'm from work.
All right, all right. No problem on that. So thank you for your report. I appreciate that you clustered your report, giving us your top, and then providing us with strong recommendation towards the end. Now, how do we help you further as you try being an accounter next time? You might want to tell people what are the repetitive words. Me, I love hearing that because when these crutch words that we are doing requires 3 A's. And the 3 A's would be awareness, knowing what you say. For example, Toastmaster Mark's favorite word is actually. So when he knows that, hey, Mark, you've uttered 5 actuallys for tonight, his brain will shift into action. When he says it for the second time, he would know, I'm shifting to something else. Maybe he would say another transition word such as therefore. And now that there is an action, we can go to application. And then over time, he will get better and better doing this, knowing what his crutch words are. Because sometimes we are unconscious about it. And number 2, not to nitpick, but I noticed that when you were giving your recommendation to Toastmaster Remy, you were having a hard time finding the right words because you would want to demonstrate it to us. When you said that she was new, so therefore it's understandable that she was committing these blunders. So I know you wanted to show that when we are thinking, because why do we do crutch words? When we are nervous, when we don't know what to say, when we are on the spot, or when we are thinking. And magkarugtong minsan yung mouth and eyes when we think, some people look up or to the left and to the right. Has that happened to you? So you had a bit of a hard time describing it, how it's done, simply because the camera was off. But other than that, great job on being an accounter. Thank you for letting us know our reports and or how we fared for this evening. I don't have a copy of who the new grammarian would be. So if it's you, please unmute yourself and we welcome you to the
Yes.
virtual podium. Toastmaster
Good evening, Yes. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters again. Good evening. As the grammarian, I am responsible to listen to the gems and germs of today's meeting. So for the user of the night's word of the night, we have paradigm shift. We have 2 users, the Toastmaster Elisa Tai and Toastmaster Lee. Congratulations. Congratulations for using the word of the night. And for the gems, we have for Toastmaster Elisa Tai, who gave us the words, the better evaluator you become, the better speaker you will become. And then the more evaluators we have in the club, the stronger our club will become. And then next is Toastmaster Sedi. His words are, ignorance is a bliss. For Toastmaster Mar, he said something is wrong if there is something muddy. Also from Toastmaster Mar, there is always 1,000 chance to reboot for our dream, for our country. And for our Toastmaster Rose, he gave us the word eloquent. And for our germs, Toastmaster Sedi said, you spoke by 1 minute. And what he means for this is that you will speak by 1 minute because this is a future tense. And then for Toastmaster GB, he said, you are the one who are correct. And for suggestion, this is, you are the one who is correct. And for Toastmaster Juliet, the word calm, he said the word calm, and it should be silent L, so it should be calm. And for Toastmaster, and lastly, for Toastmaster GB and Toastmaster Dan, they said, in our life. It should be in our lives. And that's all for today. I hope next time everybody will use the word of the night and we will have more gems in our meeting. Good evening and back to you, Toastmaster Jay.
All right. Good evening so much. Thank you to our jump in grammarian for this evening Toastmaster test. Let's give her a big round of applause. Together with all our three role takers for tonight. I loved how you divided your report into the gems and the germs, highlighting the things that you loved about the speeches. So we know that you really listened to each speech, giving us that beautiful quotable quotes. In other clubs, we use that as a poster, some of our marketing materials. And even though it's not really some may not be a really a quote that originated from us, it's still beautiful because we associate that person when we leave this meeting. I know that DTM Remy Ibay said this to us tonight, and it's a beautiful takeaway. It can be your guiding force for tomorrow. So thank you so much for sharing those to us. All right. So the overall meeting for tonight went really well. I felt that the meeting was rather serious during the beginning, but then it lightened up as our Toastmaster of the evening introduced us to the 17 sustainable factors given to us by WHO. So congratulations on that to our Toastmaster of the evening. And I even love the split screen, how we are looking at a PowerPoint and not a tiny thumbnail in my phone because we're seeing you and the screen. So beautiful job on that. I hope you could share that to your clubmates as well as to how it's done. I've seen you in Alab Toastmasters Club, so you're always giving us a big takeaway. I loved how you were on point with the theme for this evening, teaching us important things about sustainability, how to help you improve. You might want to switch first just a bit. Introduce to us Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. What is it? What is the culture of your club for guests, if there are any guests for this evening, to understand what club am I sitting and what club is this anyway? I have been to a club that's mostly comprised of lawyers and I did not understand their club culture. They were all so serious. It's as if they were reading manuscripts, only to find out that's how they do things. So it's difficult for me to tell them, guys, lighten up and have fun because we're not in the office anymore. I cannot give a strong recommendation if you do not know the club culture. So that is a good takeaway. Tell us first, or all the guests, what's your club all about? What's your goal? Others recite a promise apart from the Toastmaster promise of their club goals or mission. So beautiful job on that. I loved your presentation. Another recommendation would be to, maybe split the screen, do a screenshot, and since it's 17, maybe divide it into, don't ask me about math, divide it
Okay.
into how many
Okay.
split screens that there may be so that it can be seen, maybe like 4 each. Do the math. Toastmaster Rose,
Okay.
just ask me to speak impromptu, not math, please. Other than that, great job. It was a great learning session on top of the learning session given to us by DTM Elisa. And now, I would like to thank you again for inviting me. Always remember the 3 A's: awareness, action, and application. If you're not aware, if people will not evaluate you and tell you that there is still room for improvement, if people will not tell you that there is a better way, that we might be closed initially, and that this would be a big paradigm shift for us. There is always a better way, and we can still improve each time, even if we have delivered the same speech 100 times, there would still be room for growth. And I hope you would hold on to that too. Awareness is important, action, and application. Because if you do not practice it, it will go into waste. And so before I hand over the control to the Toastmaster of the evening, I would like to ask for the honor of DTM Elisa Tai to evaluate the general evaluation for this evening. How did we do, dear to our Ma'am Elisa Tai? Over to you, please.
I was telling Christine, she was asking how the meeting was going on, and I said I love Jay as general evaluator because you cannot ask more from a general evaluator than Jay because I think aside from giving all of us a lot of take home learnings, you did it in a very, very positive manner. I I felt that you were genuine in your desire to help all the speakers tonight, and the way your style. I have attended a meeting before wherein you were also general evaluator, and I was looking forward to another session with you tonight because that's how effective you are as general evaluator. So as it goes, as I've said, you have that such strong points. You point out the weak areas wherein we could improve, and your strongest point would be the way you give us suggestions on how we can improve on that. And you take out a lot of the mystery of evaluation and take out the fear of table topics. And I will just have to look for future meetings to find a weak point at this time for Jay as a general evaluator. So congratulations, Toastmaster Jay.
Thank you so much, everyone. Please unmute yourselves because we are in the presence of greatness, and DTM Elisa Tai deserves a big, thunderous round of applause. Come on, guys. Make her hear it. We missed these physical meetings. Voice it out loud. Congratulations. And I am now fangirling. I am never ashamed to fangirl when I see a Toastmaster that I admire. That during physical meetings, I only see from afar and listen from afar. And right now, we are face to face, though in different locations. So maraming salamat po to distinguished Toastmaster Elisa Tai. Let's all give her another
My pleasure.
thunderous round of applause. And my biggest takeaway from tonight is that the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. And relating that to Toastmasters, it's just the same. When we believe that we are already great, that we are doing okay, and then we do not open ourselves to these evaluations, we become stagnant. Nothing will happen. In a paradigm shift, your club mates are here to help save you and not only yourself. Otherwise, you would just be reading self-help books. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jay, for the honor of being our general evaluator for the night. I hope you can evaluate me more because she's so friendly. She can tell me, you're not organized, but still, and all the minus points in your speech, but it would still arrive as friendly and positive and encouraging. Thank you again. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. Simple actions done today can go a long way, and we can start with awareness of the issues. Use more reusable items, and for the plantitos and plantitas out there, don't just buy plants, propagate them. A paradigm shift is called for us to manage our resources well so that our children and our grandchildren will have a better quality of life. Thank you, Toastmasters, for allowing me to voice my advocacy tonight. Now I will turn the control over to our president, Toastmaster Sedi. The stage is
Thank you
yours.
so much, Toastmaster Rose. And let us give a round of applause to ourselves for being great tonight. Before I move on to end this meeting, of course, I would like to thank Toastmaster Jay, Area Director Jay, and distinguished Toastmaster Elisa for having us tonight. We learned a lot to the both of you when it comes to evaluating Toastmasters, and the the knowledge you shared to us will be a boost to all of us on how to be more confident when it comes to evaluating in all aspects in a Toastmaster meeting. And for the business portion, of course, we will not end this meeting without, we will not end this meeting by, paano ba? I will not end this meeting without, not all of the audience have not spoken. So I will start by Toastmaster Jomar of Tarlac Toastmasters Club. Care to share your thoughts for tonight's meeting? What are your learnings, and you may invite us for your future meetings.
Hello, good evening, everyone. All the way from Pangasinan, but I am a member of Tarlac Toastmasters Club. So I am late, so I wasn't able to listen to the talk of Toastmaster Rose and Toastmaster Eliza, but I'm looking forward for the video to be sent by Toastmaster Rose, I think, because she already offered it to me a while ago. And for that, thank you very much. For the evaluation part, I already enjoyed how our evaluators have given their evaluations to all of our speakers. Even though I haven't heard the speakers for the table topics, I was able to enjoy the positive and the recommendations given by Toastmaster J. And for the takeaway that I could get is the 3A, awareness, action, and application. I believe that club hopping is a must for us platform could enjoy our Toastmasters journey. So in behalf of Tarlac Toastmasters Club and to our president, I would love to see everyone to our next meeting every Saturday, first and third Saturday of every month. So I hope you could join us, and we will be sending the link to Toastmaster Sedi, the president, or in this case, I also request Toastmaster Rose.
Sure, no problem.
Again, thank you very much for having me here, and I enjoyed a lot as a guest in this virtual meeting. And good evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jomar. Toastmaster J, please invite us. You, if you have some clubs, we could visit.
Oh, yes, definitely. You are welcome to visit Area 5 and even serve as a role taker in our meetings. And we also have evaluators also. You can practice. I will send Sandy our schedule and links. Salamat.
Okay. Toastmaster Elisa, if you have some clubs we could visit.
Of course, you're all welcome to visit Davao Pag-asa Toastmasters Club. We meet every Tuesday. We used to meet twice a month, the same with Meycauayan. But ever since we went virtual, we said why not have a meeting every week. So we're meeting every Tuesday. And one of these days I'm going to invite Jay to be our general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Elisa. And for our club, we are inviting you for our last meeting of the year, December 8, 2020, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. in Zoom. And then we will also have our Meycauayan Toastmasters Club Online Speakathon 2020, which is the international and evaluation speech contest. It will be on December 15, 2020. This is a exclusive this is exclusive to our Meycauayan Toastmasters Club members. So to those who are interested, please give a personal message to me. And then On December 19, 2020, we will have our Meycauayan Toastmasters Club online Christmas party. It will be on December 19, Saturday. I haven't finalized the schedule yet. So we will let everyone inform when it comes to our Christmas party. So that concludes the okay, sorry. And for your inquiries, you may contact Meycauayan Toastmasters Club officers or to our official social media accounts. We have Facebook and Instagram. So to those who have these social media sites, you may visit our official Facebook and Instagram accounts. And that concludes our tonight's meeting. I hope we enjoy and learn. And again, we are honored to have distinguished Toastmaster Elisa and Area Director Jay. We learn a lot to the both of you. Thank you so much. And now, by the power vested in me by Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, I call this meeting adjourned.